watching that all unfold last night was just part of the whole nightmare haze. Okay.
Good one.
Just let me just walk you through it.
Deep,
So,
Deep
all right.
Purple album?
Nightmare Haze. Nightmare Haze. Jimi Hendrix.
Yep.
It was not it was maize and gold. It was maize and blue and red. So let me just walk you through everything. Okay. So
you left here.
I left here and I was picked up by the Rich Eisen, if you will, group. I went with 3 of my agents from UTA.
Okay. Peter
Peter Benedek, who is a legend in this industry and a diehard Michigan guy, and J.B. Fitzgerald, who played football at Michigan for 3 years. God bless him. He survived the Rich Rod and Brady Hoke experience.
Whoa.
Yeah, he was there when that happened. And Ryan Hayden, who has nothing to do with Michigan, but he came along. And we're all sitting there. We go to the Catch restaurant. By the way, a little shout out to this spot across the street from where the Angels play baseball. It's right all there, Angels Stadium.
That's a nice area.
Right down from the Honda Center.
Yeah.
Okay. Great Seabass. Seabass is great there.
Oh,
as a matter of fact, it says legendary in the menu.
And we don't mean Cam Neely.
So you'll understand why I'm telling you all this story.
Okay.
It's the very end. Then we go, and Peter, who's, again, wired in this town, the seats he gets are in row A, center court.
I mean, the picture you posted, I was like, right. You're either zoomed in or you have really great seats.
And so I'm set up, and I'm thinking to myself, all right, I've got no dog in the Gonzaga, Florida State hunt here.
Sure.
Right? I mean, it's for you guys in terms of the bracket.
You had picked Florida State
but it doesn't matter. I mean, like, I'm so hyped for the Michigan game. I'm sitting through it.
Got it.
And I'm going in my mind as to who it would benefit me to, in our competition, for you to lose this game.
Right.
And I'm doing the math, and I'm watching Tennessee, which is my Final Four team in the South bracket. I'm watching them getting blown out by Purdue on the app. Okay, we've got that going.
Right.
And then they eventually put it up on the screen in timeouts and halftime, whatever. And it was a wildly entertaining game after Gonzaga beat Florida State. And I'm watching also in front of me, in front of us, is the back end of Media Row. And how do I describe this? It's not your father's Media Row. It's not your grandfather's Media Row anymore. The people in front of us, essentially, were tweeting about the game. One dude from The Ringer sitting right in front of us. We saw a little bit too much of him when he would lean over. Okay, I mean, let's just say
a plumber situation.
Let's just say Simmons doesn't have a dress code for the people he's putting in press row. Okay, but then again, I might be a little old school. But he's Instagramming, living stuff out.
Sure,
that's his job.
It's the different age,
and he's right in front. I mean, this is Media Row. When I was in Media Row, you're taking notes. There was one guy who was taking notes like it's the 6-minute mark. This is what's happening. Like literally note in a notepad. But this is what. And then there was one older gentleman who had like a paperboy cap on and a bushy white sort of John Bolton look mustache. Our nickname for him the entire time because he took no notes. He was doing nothing. He was actually sitting in whatever empty seat there was on the row. I don't know what his nickname. Our nickname for him throughout the entire game was Moonlight Graham. He was Moonlight Graham, and it was funny because one of the players in Florida State is Terrence Mann.
Right.
We thought all you need is a Kinsella and a cornfield, and we got ourselves a little remake here.
If you build it.
So, at any rate,
if you shoot it, it will go in.
Finally, the Michigan game comes down, and it's a total unmitigated disaster. I take an Instagram shot of the tip-off, and it all went totally downhill from there. In a House of Cards worst nightmare performance.
It was not good.
The worst first-half Michigan performance in the history of the NCAA tournament. 16 first-half points, worse than the 1940s performance they had against Holy Cross, I think in 1948. That unfolded.
Tommy Eisen
They
played
went 1 for 19 from three-point range. We left with 7 minutes to go in the game. We didn't see a single three-point shot made from Michigan.
Eesh.
So all that said, I have in my back pocket, Mango, I'm putting it on the spot where I usually put things.
Bob Cousy played on that Holy Cross team.
I have right here in my pocket, and I save these things. I have a box full of ticket stubs.
Same.
Here's my ticket stub from last night's game. And I'm thinking to myself, do I save this? Or do I, at some plus block today, as my wife, Susie, said when I walked out the door, suggesting, I'm going to talk about it on the show today, do I go outside and burn it? Like literally have some form of exorcism.
Yeah. I mean, we might need to call the El Segundo Fire Department first, but.
I was a volunteer fireman.
What do I do?
You can't keep that, man. You can't keep it.
We're showing me the shot of my Instagram photo.
With the time in the background.
There it is.
I mean.
6:59 tip-off. There it is. A great tip-off. Perfect shot. I had to zoom in over the head of the ringer dude and his plumber situation and Moonlight Graham and some guy from Fox Sports Radio who was like taking selfies of himself and actually owned it, put the word work over his selfie.
That's what I'll do.
And at one point, it was not you, Del Tufo. At one point, the guy from The Ringer was taking shots of fans and whatever. I thought if he was going to zoom in on me in the middle of all this and post me, I would literally, I thought in my head, I will flip off this guy and tell Bill Simmons personally to go F himself. And they can go ahead and use that as content for at The Ringer or at Ringer or whatever it was. I honestly was prepared to do that. That's how miserable it was, to the point, to bring this all full circle, my highlight of the day was indeed the legendary sea bass at the catch. It really is that good. As I watched Tennessee go down in flames and Michigan have the worst performance ever.
Right, you got some clown music over there, buddy? Hey, look, welcome. Welcome to the clown. Welcome to the clown world, man.
I'm telling you. I mean, do I keep the stuff? It's a nice seat.
I mean, you got
tremendous seats.
My guy, Peter, was walking out because he wasn't coming back for Saturday to watch Texas Tech versus Gonzaga. He went to the men's room. He sold 2 of those seats for $50 a pop to some guy from Lubbock. And those guys, the folks from Texas Tech from Lubbock, they were all like the Houston Astros front office from Seinfeld, having a great time.
Oh, it was it was Roger Sherman of The Ringer.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm watching the story right now.
Oops.
Roger.
He had great seats.
Yeah, he's right in front of me.
He's right in front of you, center court.
Roger, it's called a belt. I'm sorry, I'm in a bad mood.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.